don't believe the narrative.
Let's make a year of exploration, a year of celebration. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Our opportunity, our moment. Let's march into finals.
The man in full flow, the Hurricane Higgins. He's about to pounce, gets there. Owens, the same goes marching in.
Picked up Phillippo, spinning, brilliant angle. Matthias Phillippo with one of the best.
Well, we're up to episode 5 of Over the Ditch Sainters. Sorry we didn't get through with a post-game analysis of the Greater Western Sydney game, or the Giants, because we had a couple of lads that would have been in the air flying over water, I would imagine. How are you guys?
Hey mate, how's it going?
Hey.
Yeah, we actually missed that game too, Sammy and I. We were on the first leg of the journey when the game was on, so we didn't see a lot of it. Thankfully, by the sound of things. But yeah, looks like we played one quarter of footy.
Yes,
in that game.
And I must say it was good to watch, and even I got a bit vocal in front of the TV. It was worth it. But before that, it was hair-pulling exercise.
Yes, I've been reading a bit about it from some of our social media platforms, and a lot of people not too happy.
No, the usual. Let's send back our membership sort of stuff is floating around already, which is a bit what we would say disappointing from the fans. Because let's be honest, we signed Ross on for 5 years, I believe. So are we really going to think that we're going to be playing, solid? We're a threat for the flag year 2. With only one proper full season pre-season under Ross,
and we're all surprised as to where we were last year, and it may given us a bit of false sense of hope because we wouldn't have thought we'd be making finals last year.
No, that's right.
We went above and beyond what we expected, so probably the expectations were a wee bit higher than they realistically should have been.
Yeah, and look, that's the nature of supporters these days. I get equally as frustrated as those people, but as you and I know through our communications, that we don't tend to get on there and bag this player's not up to AFL standard and this player's not and this player's not. We don't know the minor details of the game plan. We don't know what's going on in the preparation. We're supporters, members maybe, but yeah, I try not to throw too many stones at the individual players.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. As I always say, that's their livelihood, and they're wanting to do their best every time. Unfortunately, sometimes they have off days, but they're not doing it on purpose.
No, that's right. Now, I'm not entirely sure if you were, Sammy, up about our discussions this morning, because we've decided to change up Sammy's special delivery and make it a little bit not football for this episode. We thought it would be good to be Sammy's special delivery, the Indian Diary, and what's happened so far in about a 5-minute boundary, we might say, because I'm sure we could do a full episode on that. And maybe if you guys are up for it, we could do a bit of an interview of both of you about your experience and put it on this as well. I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to interview both you lads on that, and we could discuss it. But Sammy, this week on your special delivery, India so far.
So I've had 4 games so far. Unfortunately, only won 1 out of the 4, but first game came up against different pitches it's a lot different to what we're used to. So we're going up against very talented players. We've got what do we get, Smith?
I hope they got 80 and 3.5 overs.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. They had one kid that got almost 60 off about 13 or 14 balls, which is insane. And then second day was definitely a bit better. I think we scored 140.
Yeah, something like that. They
Yeah.
chased it down, unfortunately.
140. They still chased it down, but were meant to have a second game on the same, another game on the same day, but they couldn't sign off on it, so couldn't do that, unfortunately. And then a few days in between.
Yeah, a couple of rest days. We went up to Taj Mahal, which was
Yeah,
cool.
which was fun. Then we had yesterday afternoon game and night game, which our afternoon game was very good, came quite close.
Yeah, went down by 9 runs, I think.
Yeah,
Got your
9
first
runs
wicket?
last
First
year.
wicket?
First wicket of the tour, which was good. Bowling was real good.
Just while you're on that, maybe you should talk people through how you had to change your bowling over here because you've gone from being a flighty
Yeah,
spin bowler, trying to get it through a bit quicker. And
yeah, it's definitely been a lot different for I think all the spin bowlers because instead of us being able to flight it up and try and get turn using your flight or beat the batter with flight, you have to kind of dart it in flat and hard and then still turns, but you can't flight it up otherwise they'll just charge you and smack you.
completely different, changing all your
Yeah.
bowling style, your spinning boys, eh?
Yeah,
Which has been a challenge in itself.
Yeah.
The challenge of being here. Hang on.
Yeah.
Your father might remember this, Sammy. There was a chap that played Test cricket for Australia, and in the end, he became more of a one-day spin bowler, and that's Peter Taylor. And he had to change his style for the one-day game, and in the end, they decided he was a one-day specialist. And it's probably not dissimilar to what you've had to do on this trip.
Yeah. Yes, I think every one of us spinners, it's been a lot different coming over here, and even more batters and pace bowlers. It's like they're all having to change what they are used to.
Yeah,
So
opening batsmen that are changing their styles completely too, eh?
so it's much harder. And then in the night game, I was one of the rested players, and so I was just running drinks, and I came on for a couple overs just to field if someone got caught or someone was sick. So, but yeah, and
Had a win.
had a win. We won that one, so that was good. Our first win, and that's pretty much all the games so far. And
I think the team will take a lot from that. A lot of confidence. A lot came of it. From those 2 games yesterday. A few boys took their first wicket, and some boys got some good runs. Tim got 94, unfortunately. 92, sorry, then got out. Unfortunately, he deserved a ton for that.
I think even because the 2 games before we had yesterday, we batted first and we wouldn't score enough runs, and then the bowlers wouldn't have any opportunities to actually get a good bowl. So we decided to bowl first and both bowl first, and then everyone got an opportunity throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Everyone got a few wickets.
He took 4 overs, 1 for 26, I think, yesterday. Been unlucky not to get a couple more. Could have gone either way. You might have got a wicket, but got to be happy with that, I thought.
Yeah, good. It's all so far on the trip.
Yeah. Off to IPL tonight,
Yeah.
and 2 games on Monday. Is the next plan of attack, eh?
Yeah.
But you're enjoying it. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Beautiful people. The boys are all getting swamped for photos wherever they go. They got their cricket shirts and stuff on there, and the passion for cricket here is just amazing. People just absolutely love their cricket. They'll talk to you all day about their cricket, and they love these lads here. Yeah. Celebrity type thing, eh? It's quite funny, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah, they do say cricketers are gods over there. So I believe Gilly in particular and Brett Lee were very popular over there, and Warney as well. So
Jacob Oram, who's Sammy's coach here, he played a bit over here, done a bit of coaching over here, and you've got a feel for the bloke, bro. He's just whenever he goes out in public, it's just photo after photo after photo, And he's really, really good with the people. He's really respectful. He gets his photo with them, and but it's a religion for them over here.
Yeah, no, I imagine it would be, and whatnot. And I believe what we might do even next episode. When are you guys due back to the land of the long white cloud?
Sunday, week tomorrow.
Okay, so bearing that in mind, just so the listeners know where we're at before we go on with the rest of this episode, we may even just await the return, You just get over a little bit of jet lag and do something early on the Monday, Tuesday, or whatever when you're feeling okay for the episode 6, and then we'll be back on to our post game regularly, unless
sounds good, mate. Good.
So we'll just make that clear to all our viewers that that's the case. So
And
moving
apologies for the bit of a muck around, just with the time difference and the flights and stuff. It has mucked us around a little bit, so we apologise for that.
That's right. And as we've said in past episodes, we're only amateurs having a crack. If we were working for, Channel 7 or something like that, we would probably be a lot more accountable for that. And you would probably have flown first class anyway. So that aside, but we'll move on. Obviously 2 results, not easy to, take on or stomach. In fact, a bit of taste to a degree. I probably have a lot more bitter feelings because of my mate wearing the Waz top in the background. Team beating us by 60 points. Now, very hard to find an upside and a big loss, but I don't know if you lads seen all that game.
I've seen bits and pieces on the bus on the way home from the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, I didn't see any of it.
But it was hard because the Wi-Fi was in and out. And, mobile data wasn't the greatest, so but I did have one highlight from the game.
Yep.
And that was the final siren sounding. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
My probably take from it was, at one stage, Ross Lyne's record for the biggest loss was looking in danger. And I actually thought at one stage during the start of that last quarter that we were a chance of losing by triple figures. So I really do believe the boys showed enough to not get it blown out any further than 10 goals because it looked very dangerous at one stage.
Yep, indeed.
So,
I'm hearing you there, mate, Sam. I thought we were going to be 100 plus points there, but we were.
Yeah. And probably for me too, just leading into what might happen for the Port Adelaide game. You watch the last couple of games that we've lost, not so much the Greater Western Sydney one, but let's look at the Essendon game and now the Bulldogs game. There's a common denominator that teams are using against us. They're obviously going in to run Rowan Marshall into the ground.
Yeah, and we've talked about it pretty much every episode, I think.
Yep.
What our ideas are, but we're not coaches, we're not selectors. But, geez, that's annoying, eh? It's annoying, mate. It's so obvious to everyone outside the buddy, the powers that be, obviously.
Yeah.
what we all believe needs to happen, but it's still not bloody happening.
And you know what? It's interesting. Against Essendon, it was a 2-prong bookend job on him because you had Goldstein and what's his name? The fish that fell on the ball. Yeah, that's him. Draper, the fish that fell on the ball last night and probably should have been pinged for holding the ball, but that's a different topic. You had those two, but then against the Western Bulldogs, at any one time, he had English, he had Darcy, and he had Lobb on him, or he had to contend with those guys. And then when he wasn't contending with one of them, they were creating too much height in their forward line for our defenders. People, to me, it highlights people that bag Dougal Howard for the odd, what we'll call clanger that he produces. They forget about the other 10 or 15 good things he does in the quarter. We are severely missing him.
Yeah, it's quite easy to forget those things, isn't it?
It is.
People seem to do that a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, a defender, when they do a clanger, is very similar to another sport that I love, which is soccer, where if the goalkeeper does a blunder, it usually costs you a goal. The same thing happens with defenders. But then we forget it's the other 10 bloody unbelievable stops. We could have been 11-0 down. You know what I mean? There's that side of it. But the sooner he's back, the better. And, lads, do you believe we might be missing 1B Crouch a bit?
Yeah, well, obviously, and honestly, I think as well as that, I think we're missing the likes of Mason Wood as well.
Yep.
there's a few young fellas who are there and having a crack, but we've got to remember they're still only really young fellas too.
That's
I
right.
spoke earlier about our expectation as a team when we got the finals last season, and as supporters, we've probably been a bit unrealistic. We might be a bit same way with some of those young fellas, expecting them to come up and just be as consistent because they're only boys and they're not going to find that consistency yet. You know what I mean?
No, that's right. 100%. Veering back to what we were talking about with Rowan having no support, I did allude to it on our Facebook page when someone was commenting about Rowan, I think in particular. And in the context for me, I don't see the value in continually pinch hitting with a Caminiti or an Owens, that sort of thing. In particular, Owens, who's potentially going to be a superstar of the competition. You don't want him getting bashed around by guys nearly twice his bloody size.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
So
get Jack Hayes in there. Get Jack Hayes and give us a hand.
well, funny enough, I wouldn't mind betting. If I was a betting man, which I don't mind the odd flutter, I would reckon he was an emergency this round. Surely, after the performance against the Western Bulldogs, whether it be resting players, whether it be out of form players, whatever the decision is, he has to be in the 23, doesn't he?
You'd think so. I think we only got one injury out of that game, didn't we? Or
Yeah, who was it? Sorry?
Butler with a hammy, was it?
Yes, and it looks like a bad hammy too, because he didn't look overly impressed with life. Normally, if it's just a twinge and they know it's only a couple of weeks, they're not so bad, but he looked devastated. So I wouldn't mind betting it might be up there with Liam Henry's hammy. Is my gut feeling. I haven't read it or heard anything yet, which is interesting. But saying that, like, if let's say Max King's still another week off because of the soreness, because they believe it's knee soreness, and that's why he didn't play. Surely they look at the fact that we didn't have a Yelp in the forward line. Not that the ball got there much in the first quarter, and considering yet again Groundhog Day with Marshall and the ruck getting ground down over the whole 4 quarters, surely Hazy has to get a game.
Yeah, you'd think so. You'd hope so.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing, and I know you've had limited viewing of the game, is they're still persisting to not just play Cooper Sharman forward. He's not going to do anything for you in the midfield. He's not going to do much for you up the fence. But yet again, he had, after the game, post-siren, he had the last shot of the day, quite a reasonable distance out, set shot. It was the difference between Ross losing by the biggest margin ever under his coaching at St Kilda or not, and Cooper split the middle.
Yep.
What does that say?
Yep. Put him up there a bit earlier. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and also, too, there's a lot of people out there that are bagging Cooper Sharman, saying he's not up to AFL standard. Well, I'll let you on a little secret. You play the guy where he should be playing, and he bridges that gap immensely.
Another one just on that, mate.
Yeah.
I read a lot of people bagging Caminiti. Now, early on, he was one of our only Saints having a crack.
Yep.
From what I seen, like I say, I didn't see a lot because it was cutting in and out. The internet and that was cutting in and out, but he was the only one who was having a real good crack.
Yep.
And we're bagging him saying he's not up to it, and this and that and the other thing, but at least he was having a go.
And you know what? I reckon he eats raw meat because he's got a real angry side to him, and I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. I don't mind him.
Absolutely like it. And I tell you what,
he's another one of those. Sorry.
No, you go, mate.
He's just another one of those young blokes who's not going to find that consistency yet because he's only a boy and he's finding himself, So
he's only like 20.
They're going to the time.
Yeah, he's only like 20. And did you see too that the natives have also come running for Filippo? The kid is 19. Wake up to yourselves. He's 19. In fact, he was the youngest, I believe, in the draft when he was drafted, and he played senior football straight away. He's 19.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
a lot of his other draft comrades, we'll call them, a lot of them are 20 now.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know?
no, it's now we do tend to forget that. Like I say, these kids came in and they showed quite a bit. So yeah, we expect them to be up here, but in reality, we should be expecting them to be here, sort of thing. You know, I actually here, there, and everywhere because they're like I say, they're finding themselves still. So we just bit of unexpected, buddy. Well, we shouldn't be expecting them to do as well as what they have, and we got a bit
100%.
spoiled with it. But,
100%.
no, we're right onward and up anyway, mate. I think we're they'll put that behind them.
Oh,
As I said to Sammy,
100%.
you don't look in the rear vision mirror. You look forward to the next game and worry about what's going on there.
It's interesting, Sammy, while we've got you there, and you look like you need another 2 hours sleep. Sorry, mate. But question for you, moving into the Port Adelaide game, what's one change you would like to see from the team that played the Western Bulldogs that you think will or believe will send us a long way forward to maybe being competitive against Port Adelaide over there?
I didn't really get to watch any of the games, so I wouldn't know real well.
Yep.
But like you said, because you used to watch more of the game, having that another ruck, so one ruck doesn't get ruined through the game and fatigued at the end of the game. And obviously, like you said, Jack Hayes can still kick goals as well. So if you're going to miss King, he's another person who can substitute for him kicking goals.
Ooh. And he's an Adelaide boy too, so he'd be,
Yeah, it makes sense to bring him back for that game as well, doesn't it? And the thing is with Jack Hayes too, we're at the stage where, all right, he played the first year when we drafted him as a mature age. He showed a lot, then he did his knee. All right?
Yep.
So, and we only gave him a 1-year contract in the first place. So we've shown respect and belief in him by giving him an extension, even though he's coming off an ACL. He came off the ACL last year, which would have been mid-ish season, I believe. So, because it's usually about 12 months and that. Yep. And then he had other problems. All right. I still think he's worth investing in, but we need to be giving him football to see if his body's going to hold up to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's no good, buddy. Yeah, just get him in there. Get him in there and try and help Big roll out, as you say. And if he gets injured, he gets injured. But it's no good mollycoddling, having him in there and just wasting his faith on the list.
That's right.
Let him play footy, and if he holds up, good and well. He's got the ability, no doubting that.
Oh, 100%. And, obviously it's equally as frustrating for him. And just remember that when we bag players, supporters out there, that I'm not saying that they live on social media, but as Danny pointed out before, their family probably are. Just remember that. And just remember that, mental health is a big thing. And considering we're a club that had a man by the name of Danny Spud Frawley, and look what happened to poor Danny in the end, let's just think about it before we decide to put out hits on our players.
100%, mate.
Now, moving forward, all right, it's against Port Adelaide. I'm not entirely sure what night because I've had my phone stolen from me and brought back. So I'll just have a quick look. While we're moving forward, Port Adelaide are travelling quite well this year, which is a bit of a worry for us. Just what would you like to see happen in that game, guys, moving forward?
For me personally, I know Sammy and I harp on about this quite a bit, but you need to play. No matter who you're playing, you need to play 4 quarters of footy. We can't be play, in dribs and drabs. You've got to play 4 quarters. You've got to be switched on from the first bounce. That's what I want to see. Switched on from the first bounce. We're letting them get up. We're letting every team get away from us early. But we made it look a little, very, very, very little bit more respectable late on Thursday. We kicked a few goals when the Bulldogs are probably switched off a little bit too, So we didn't give up. But you can't let teams get away from you, Even a couple of those post games, we let them get well too far away. Bombers we should have beaten. Probably GWS we just let them get too far away, too much of an easy early lead. So we need to play 4 quarters of footy. That's me. But you, bro?
Mine's probably the same. I said it the last 2 weeks as well. Clearly, we need to do it. It's been what's my take in for the next few games. Like, you can't. Especially that first quarter, I only seen the score at the end of it. Like almost that is once they get to that lead, you pretty much know. I don't think you're going to be able to come back from that very easily at all. So even if you did, you'll still be fighting the last 2 quarters if you made it back in the second quarter. So yeah, you need to play 4 quarters.
That's it.
Yeah, well,
What about you, Tim?
Yeah, all right. First of all, it's 7:40 on Friday nights at the Adelaide Oval.
Oh, nice.
All right. And just while we look at the current ladder, Port Adelaide are 3rd. So, and we've dropped down to 12th. So it could be looking at the ladder, we could be playing potentially second place side depending on results. I wouldn't. So just bear that in mind. So we definitely be playing a top 4 team, but it could be a top 2 team by the time we play them next week.
It will be nice for us to have a week or so off. 8 days between games was what was it? 11 3-day games in 11 days. I think we had a couple we had to travel for, but that's the nature of the beast. You've got to travel and you've got to play when you get the games. But
that's
still,
right.
Does leave it out of the lads.
Well, for me, I think it's time. We need to play Jack Sinclair back into some form. He's just a shadow of the player he has been. So I think that could be related to the restricted preseason that he had because he was injured at the start of the year. But for me, the biggest thing when the heat was on and we really needed to respond in that first quarter, we turned the ball over by poor choices or also just poor skill. So for me, and that was in the midfield quite a bit, apart from there was a couple in the sort of forward line, but it was in the corridor quite often. So for me, we need the ball in the hands of Nasiah, Sinclair, the Bonner, the guys that have got better foot skills. So for me, it's come to the time where we've got to say, okay, we've got a few guys we can put on the half back line. Let's put them there and let's move Sinclair and Nasiah into the midfield because we need that skill going into the forward 50 as well as in the corridor. So for me, that would be a positive start. Let's just see. Like Wanganang Malira, Nasiah has been playing on that half back line since he started. He's turning into quite a elite player on the half back flank. Maybe it's time to give him a whirl in the midfield. Especially when you've got guys like Steele that'll give, you know what you're going to get from Steele. He's going to give you grunt, etc. like that. While we haven't got Mason Wood, who I believe also is quite a reasonable ball user. If we've got Stocker that can play halfback, he's a good ball user. He's not quick, so that's another reason why he should be on the back flank and Nasiah in the middle.
Yeah,
very cool. I'm looking forward to when Paddy Dowell's available because I believe he'll give us something in the guts that we're missing at the moment as well.
He's not far off, is he?
He shouldn't be too far off. But for me, I think it's time to roll the dice, Ross the boss. It's time to put those 2 chaps in the guts. And also,
cool.
you got to play Jack Hayes. I've seen someone else on one of the social media groups that you guys are in as well. It might have been the Uncensored. A guy saying Keeler needs to have a game. I'm not sure we're ready to bring him in yet in the pressures of the ruck. I reckon being a ruckman sort of like he is, give him just this year with Sandy. Think about him for next year, is my thoughts. Yeah. We know Jack Hayes, when he's in there, can do it. So for me, that's the time. All right, guys, I know I don't want to steal the thunder from your pre-games, but what are your thoughts for the player that will potentially kick the first goal or be best on ground or both for us in the Port Adelaide game before we go?
Yeah, first, Sammy.
Kevin Levy,
Kemeny for first goal.
first goal.
Yep.
And best on ground was it? Jack Higgins.
Higgins. There you go. Nice call. Nice call. I'll go. First goal scorer. I'll go. Jack Hayes.
Yep. So you're hedging the bets. He's going to get a game. That's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah, and chucking that out there. And I'm thinking Wilkie will be our best on ground.
Yep.
He'll have a bit of work to do. And he's the thing about the fellas like Wilkie though, they sometimes they just do their job. They go about their job. They toil away, so you don't notice how good they're how because they give you that week in week out. But yeah, I'm going to go for Wilkie. There you go.
He's one of those players, just before I say mine, he's one of those players that you don't realise what he does until he's out. And we've never experienced that since he started. So let's hope that doesn't happen, because I don't want us to have to discover, because I believe Wilkie's our most important player. Your most important player is not your best player. They're just the most important player to your structure.
Does his job. I'll tell you, there's a fellow who used to play for us, Baron Ray, and he was one of those fellas who used to do so much that went unnoticed.
Yep.
I used to be a big fan because he'd do the same job every week in, week out, and you wouldn't notice because he's doing that, you know. I did like him. He's a good player.
Even Aaron Fiora used to add a bit to us too that we probably underappreciated at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for me, before we wind up and go, because you lads have got a big day of cricket, I'd imagine, and I've got basketball and all sorts of things to go to, and then tomorrow I may not be available for another episode ever because I'm running for my daughter's under-14 team, so cardiac arrest probably around the corner there. But anyway, for me, first goal, I'm going to go on a limb here, and as you can see, I'm thinking while I'm speaking. I actually think Mitch Owens will get the first goal, and I believe it'll be another one of those ones where he's running onto the ball and it's kicked long over the top of everyone, because that seems to be our way to try and get out of trouble. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and this is probably people are going to laugh at me. If he plays, because I don't know, they may rest him because he's only young, I'm backing Philippou in to turn it on in his home state for a best on ground.
Nice. Like that. Good stuff.
No worries. And I'm just trying to help him over the line. So anyway, lads, you enjoy the remainder of your trip. I'm sure we'll be in communications via social media, which will be great. And Sammy, good luck, mate. Surely a bagful's just around the corner after getting your first wicket the other night. Keep it up. Listen to your coach, and always be thankful to your family for helping you make it for this opportunity in life. Always good, mate.
It's been good. Lots of people support you, so it's been good.
Yeah. So, as I said to you on a past episode, always remember the important people that help you get there, mate, and your mum and dad are up there at the top of it. And for me, it's a hooroo. Lads, the usual wind-up.
Wherever you're watching the games from, sink a few beers.
Good a few cheers.
And
Otherwise, say us.
up the mighty Saints.